Alright, we're back to talk more Triple Triad. These are some puzzles I set up, so the graphics may not be so pretty. Also see a bunch of new cards, like this ugly one-eyed thing in 5. I think that's called Abomination. Yeah, it is. So this is just going to be a set of problems to solve. I wasn't putting numbers when I was making these diagrams, so it says at the bottom 5-5. This is a red to move and win position. If you did the count yourself, you could know it was 5-5 because there are 5 cards that are pink. Remember, cards in the hand count, and 5 cards that are blue. Blue only has 1 card left, so we know which card they will use on their final turn. And in each of these positions, just pause, think about what you do, and try to find the winning or tying continuation depending on what's asked. So pause and think about it. Alright, so the guidance is good. When in doubt, look for captures and safe moves. The score is 5-5, so we will have to take something to take a 6-4 lead. So any move in 3, remember, it's like a telephone. The top left is 1, the top middle is 2, the top right is named 3. So the square 3, any move there cannot capture something, it only touches our own cards. Therefore, the wind can't be there. Now we have 2 cards that can go in 6. 1-1-1-6 will capture the card in 5, but they will capture us back because our 1 facing up is very weak. So that will be a 5-5 tie. We capture 1, they capture 1, the score stays the same. However, 6-2, 6-2, and 6 captures the card in 9, the 4-4-2-7. So using our zombie in 6 puts us up 6-4, and they have a 3-6-6-1. Their 6 cannot capture our up-facing 6, and their 1 cannot capture the 4, so we win 6-4. Hopefully you solved that one. With 2 moves left, there are only 4 moves to consider, and their move is forced, so you only have to calculate 4 lines, which makes it relatively straightforward. Now, let's move on to another one. Okay. This one's going to be substantially more complicated just because a lot more cards are vulnerable to be taken. There are 1s facing out. There's just a lot more cards touched by the available moves. So this is a bit harder to calculate. This time we're going to be blue. Again, there are 2 moves left, so there's 4 moves total for you to consider. Can you find the win? You can pause and solve. I'll probably keep forgetting to say that. Alright. So we can just go through the 4 moves. Now, to win, we must take a card. So we can already eliminate 2-3-6-6 Abomination in 5 because it doesn't take anything. The 3 will not take the 4, and the 6 will not take their 6. Our 6 facing their 6 from the card in 4, from that colorful thing, and our 3 cannot take their Sphinx's 4. So that will not take anything, and the score will stay 5-5. Now what about 4-4-2-7 and 5? That does capture something. That captures their card in 4, and puts us up 6-4, because the score is currently 5-5. So when we take a card, we're up 6-4. They will play 6-2, 6-2, and 2, and they will flip our card in 5 and the card in 3, because 2 is bigger than 1, 6 is bigger than 4. They will take 2 cards, thus it will go from our lead 6-4 to their lead 6-4. We lose. We don't want to do that. So both moves in 5 we should rule out. And on general principles, it seems like we should be going in 2, because our card in 3 is very weak, and it would be nice to secure it, because it's so weak. While our card in 8 has a pretty good 6 facing out, so we're not in a rush to secure it, to block it in. Also, their card in 1, the 1-1-1-6, very weak, so going next to it, it's easy to take it. So we want to go in 2, and we really just want the highest outward-facing value, so we should check Abomination 2-3-6-6 and 2 first. It flips the card in 1, so we lead 6-4, and they go 6-2, 6-2, and 5. Their 6 going up does not beat our 6 facing down, and their 6 going down does not beat our 6 facing up. So we would lead 6-4, they wouldn't capture anything back, and we win 6-4. Once we find the win, we should probably just stop calculating, like we have a win, we should play it. But it should be noted 4-4-2-7 and 2 does not win, it puts us up 6-4, but they easily capture back, and it's 5-5 in the tie. Oops, I scrolled down too far and spoiled it. Hopefully no one saw. You can pause and solve. So here it's 5-5. So again, we're going to need to capture to win. If we look for captures, we have no captures in 5. Despite there being 3 red cards facing us, neither of our cards are strong enough. So the only place for there to be a win is going to be in 7, the corner square. Our sand thing, our scorpion, 5-3-4-3, will capture 1 card from 7, while 6-3-2-5 will capture 2 cards from 7, because it captures both the skeleton, 3 is greater than 2, and the colorful thing, 6 is greater than 5. So that should be our first candidate move. So we're going to look at 6-3-2-5 and 7, which captures 2 cards, and that thus puts us up 7-3. They must reply 4-4-4-5 in 5. It does not capture back either of the cards we just took, because 5 is not greater than 6, nor is 4 greater than 6. However, the other 4 will take our card in 2, so they will take 1 card back. Now, there are 2 ways to think about this. One way is it's tied. We take 2, they take 1 back, we should win. Easy, works. The other way is it's 5-5, we take 2, so we're up 7-3. They take 1 back, making it 6-4. We win 6-4. A little more precise, but it doesn't really matter which way you think about it. Alright. Let's be careful not to scroll too far this time. Alright, again it's 5-5, so again we're going to need to capture something, and again it's red to move and win. So, figure it out. Alright, we don't have any captures in 1, because their 6 facing left from 2 is too strong for us to take. So we're going to be looking at 4. Now we have 2 cards we can put in 4. The Sphinx card only captures 1 opposing thing, while the colorful thing captures 2. And actually, because it's 5-5, if we capture 2, and we only have 1 card that's vulnerable that could be taken, it doesn't matter what they have. They could capture us, they could fail to capture us. They're only going to be able to take 1 back, and we will win at least 6-4. So no matter what their card was, it could have 4 10s on it. We can play 3-6-5-4 and 4, and it will capture the cards in 5 and the card in 7, putting us up 7-3, and there's nothing they can do. They can only capture 1 back. They will, and we win 6-4. If we look at the other card, Sphinx in 4, it only captures 1. They capture us back, 5-5. Hopefully calculating 2-move variations is getting straightforward. If it's not, well, we might have more examples for you. Yeah, we do. And again, anytime if I go too fast, then just pause, slow down, look at it again. I'm used to saying the names of squares, so it comes naturally to me, and for most people it's not going to come that naturally. So pause and make sure you know which square is being referred to. So here the 2 squares we can move in are the bottom 2 on the right, so they are 8 and 9. We are down 4-6. We trail. We only have 4 cards of ours. We have 2 cards in our hand and 2 cards on the board. They have 6. So if we're going to win, we're going to need to take 2 cards, which means our move has to be an 8. I didn't say pause, did I? I'm bad at this. Anyways, our move has to be an 8. I'm just going to keep going. And to win, we're going to have to be able to capture 2 cards. So our only option is 4-4-2-7 in 8. It captures the card in 5, because 4 is greater than 1. And it captures the card in 7, because 7 is greater than 6. We lead 6-4. Can they capture us back? Nope. 4 ties 4. They do not capture. We win 6-4. Alright, so now we're going to go on to 3-move calculations, which get a lot harder. Because with 2-move calculations, there are always 4 moves to consider. We have 2 cards, there are 2 squares, and their response is forced. Only 4 options. Now, with 3-move calculations, oh god, higher numbers too. That doesn't really add much. But there are suddenly going to be 12 combinations. Because it's red to move. Red has 2 cards that could go in 3 squares, so we have 6 possible moves. And we know, because we've seen with 2 squares left, they'll have 4 possible replies, and then there will be 1 forced move at the end. So 6 times 4 is 24. There are 24 possible finishes to this game. So you can see quickly that calculating more moves out really multiplies the difficulty out. And so a useful thing is going to be, if you don't want to take like 5 minutes solving each move, is going to be knowing what to look for. And the key things to look for are going to be securing safety and captures. We've talked about it. So try to solve this one, though it might be a little tricky because we're making a real jump in difficulty here. and then I'll explain. Okay, so we care about safety, securing, captures. Now, capturing and securing, our only way to do either is a move in 5, capturing the card in 6. So 3, 9, 2, 9, and 5 should be a really tempting move. This is going to be one of our candidate moves. It's one of the moves that has a good chance to be correct. It captures the card in 6. That will put us up 6-4. The score is currently 5-5. And it has a 9 facing left. 9 can't be beat. 9 is the highest number here. So it will be safe, and it secures a card, putting us up 6-4. That's very tempting. Are there any other options? Well, there are, because we could also play for safety. That card is safe, but there is another safe option. The dog, Angelo, 9, 6, 7, 3, we could play in 7. And this has a lot of benefits too, because the 9 upward can't be beat. We have a safe move in 7. And it covers the yellow bird, Chocobo's weak side, the 4, so it has a 9 facing up, so it will be safe too. So this move doesn't give us the lead, but it does give us 2 safe cards, and that seems pretty damn good too. So we have 2 really tempting candidate moves. Do either of them work? Well, let's check 3, 9, 2, 9, and 5 first, because A, it is wrong, and I like checking the wrong move first, but B, because it does seem to be more tempting. So 3, 9, 2, 9, and 5 puts us up 6-4 with a 9 facing to the left. Is there anything they can do? Well, 9, 4, 8, 4, our fat bird in 8, is still going to be weak, and they can take it. And our dog only has a 7 down, so if they can take from 7, our bird in 8, with at least a 7 facing up, they'll get the tie. And they can. 9, 8, 3, 5, Maliris in 7 captures the Chocobo in 8, making it 5-5, and we only have a 7 down, so we won't be able to capture anything on the last turn, and we'll tie. Very sad. Luckily, we could start with dog in 7. Now, then the dog and the bird are both safe, and it is still 5-5. They can't take anything of ours. All our stuff is either secure or has a 9 facing out that can't be beat. And so actually, we don't even need to calculate that much, because our 3, 9, 2, 9 is going to be really dominant horizontally. And the only squares left are horizontally connected. And so if after we go dog in 7, Angelo in 7, if they go in 4, and we can play 3, 9, 2, 9, and 5, we know we'll take the card in 6. And that will win us the game 6-4. So they have to block 5, and they can't block 5 with a 9 facing left. So our 3, 9, 2, 9 is guaranteed to take something on the final turn. And after we go 9, 6, 7, 3, and 7, they can't take anything. So they will fail to take something, and then we will take at least one thing and win 6-4 or more. So the win is 9, 6, 7, 3, and 7. And that was a lot harder than the previous problems. I hope you solved it. It was significantly trickier. You have to calculate further. The most obvious move does not, in fact, work. So there was a lot to see here. But I do think the idea of check captures, safe moves, securing moves, you notice we didn't consider any moves in 4. 4 doesn't really follow any of the principles we hopefully have come to understand. Another thing is keeping our best card for last. Again, using a weaker card first or using the card that sets up the other one. By playing 9, 6, 7, 3, and 7, we set up 3, 9, 2, 9 to dominate. That card's just excellent horizontally, and we set up a situation where only horizontal strength mattered. And that's often going to be kind of how you should think about these puzzles, is how can I set up my last turn to be really strong? Because in the previous puzzles, I have a cat. In the previous puzzles, totally lost my place. In the previous puzzles, we were on second turn, so we were making the second to last move. In which case, we had 2 cards left, and we could choose how to use both of them. However, in these puzzles, we're on first turn. We're going to make the last move of the game, and we're only going to have 1 card left, and its action will be forced. So if we can leave open 2 squares where it's going to be really good, that's going to give us much better chances. And in this case, we did a good job of setting it up properly. So, alright, blue to move. Again, think about it, solve. Okay. A lot of high numbers facing out, right? Like, that card in 1, the Dragon, Grand Dragon, 2773, we can't beat 7. 7s are the highest numbers around. Our card in 6, 7274, it is a 7 facing up. No one can capture that. Our card in 7, 7653, it has a 7 facing up. No one can capture that. The only vulnerable card is 5547 and 5. And if we take that, if we take the 5, it will be safe. They can't take it back. So it might be really tempting to say 6-3, 6-7, and 2. That's my move. It takes that card, we go up 6-4, because the score is 5-5. You know, they can't take it back. But they can take our 6-3, 6-7 from 3. They can take it easily. It has a 3 facing towards that square. And we're going to tie 5-5. So that's not the answer either. Alright, sorry, cats are very much distracting me. So our win is not in 2. So the next thing to do is, what secures cards? And the easiest way to secure a card is simply to have nothing that can take you. And if we go in 4, nothing can take us because the squares next to it, 1, 5, and 7, are all already blocked. And our instinct should be to use our weaker card there. And our weaker card is pretty clearly 3, 7, 3, 6. And so we should think, okay, that seems like a reasonable candidate move. Now let's calculate. So we place 3, 7, 3, 6, and 4. Now the score is 5-5. We know if they go in 3, and we can play 6, 3, 6, 7, and 2, we win, because we take the card in 5, and we lead 6-4. So they have to go in 2, and then we'll play 6, 3, 6, 7, and 3. And 6, 3, 6, 7, and 3 will have a 7 to the left. They have nothing with a 7 to the right, so anything they place in 2 we can take as well. We're going to win 6-4. So 3, 7, 3, 6, and 4 is the win, because our final card dominates the remaining squares. They can't capture anything, and we will be able to capture at least one thing to lead 6-4. Ooh. This one has a lot of wins. I don't like this one. You can pause. I'll just scroll down and read the description after. I wish I hadn't used this as an example. It has a lot more vulnerable cards, which makes it a kind of messier, less clean example. So pause, try to find some wins. So 9835 and 407 wins, and 2995 and 4 also wins. Note that capturing is not necessarily what we want to do, but it's really important to leave a card that can capture at the end. Though that's not necessarily true in all these variations. Anyways, bad example. I don't know why I gave one with 3 results. Alright, this one's much better despite there being more possible results. So we're trailing 6-4, and we can win 2 different ways. Can you find both? Alright, so the first one I find less elegant. The first one is very similar to the last one that we actually solved, which is going 7-2, 7-4 in 1. We capture the card in 4, making it 5-5, and we know they cannot reply in 3 because our 2, 6, 7, 6, our better card. Note, we're really keeping our better card for last as much as possible. 2, 6, 7, 6 in 2 will capture the card in 5, and we will win 6-4. So after 7-2, 7-4 in 1, they have to go in 2 if they don't want to just lose trivially. And our 2, 6, 7, 6 will double capture. This doesn't work. What am I talking about? Yeah, 7-2, 7-4 in 1 does not work. I am a buffoon. I wasn't thinking. Because they can play 1, 6, 5, 6, and 2. So we will tie it 5-5 by going in 1. They will go in 2, making it 6 for them. And we will play 2, 6, 7, 6, and 3. And we will only capture 1 back because our 6 doesn't beat their 6. I am on autopilot, let's say. So that would be a 5-5 tie. The correct move instead, or the better version, would be to start actually with the stronger card simply because it's safe. We usually start with the weaker card, but sometimes the stronger card is safe, and then we should consider it. 2, 6, 7, 6 is 1 safe square to play in. It's 3. And if we're looking for safe moves, that becomes clear. So we go in 3. We tie the game 5-5. They cannot capture us. And we don't even need to calculate all the remaining possibilities. All we have to know is they cannot capture our card in 3, so it's 5-5, and it will stay 5-5. and that our 7-2-7-4 Ruby Dragon has a 7 facing down, and the cards in 4 and 5 have 6s facing up. So we will be able to capture something on the final turn, and we will win 6-4, because we make it 5-5 with 2, 6, 7, 6, and 3, and they can't capture anything back. And I really wish I was good at video editing so I could hide how badly I thought about this position just now. Very amateur. But we do have another win, and it's really cool, which is to play in 2, actually. 7-2-7-4 and 2 ties it 5-5, and you'll notice the 2, 6, 7, 6 can recapture it on either side while capturing the card below. So we will capture a card, they'll capture it back, and they'll lead 6-4, but we will capture 2 cards on the final turn to win 6-4. And what I like about this move is it doesn't actually matter what cards the opponent has, right? If we play 7-2-7-4 and 2, they could have like 2 cards that are like 9-9-9-9, right? Or 8-8-8-8, doesn't matter. And they could play it in 1 or 3, and we'd still have the double capture to win at the end. So I find this kind of win really elegant, and I like results where the move is in 2 here, in this kind of structure. All right, we have another one. You can pause. Okay, so similar to one we saw before, there's a lot of strong outfacing numbers. For instance, their card in 1 is safe, we can't take their 7. Their card in 5 is almost safe, but we could take their 6 facing down. And our card in 6 is safe, the 7 facing down is safe. And our card in 7 is only vulnerable one way. They cannot take its 6 facing up, but they can take its 3 facing to the right. And this might draw us into some conclusions. Now, we could think about securing cards, though actually it turns out that going in 4, which secures itself, is a very bad move. It's 5-5. If we put either card in 4, they play 6, 7, 3, 6, and 8. They capture our card in 7 to lead 6-4, and they're safe, so they win. But if we looked at which cards are weak and in what direction, we noticed, okay, if we play an 8, then our 6, 3, 6, 7, and 7 become safe, and that's the only place we can capture their card in 5 from. So 7, 6, 5, 3, and 8 looks really tempting, because it puts us up 6-4, and it makes our 6, 3, 6, 7 safe. And in fact, it wins. They can't capture back from 9, and they have no captures in 4, and if we lead 6-4 and they have no captures, then we're going to have the final turn and be up 6-4 entering our final turn, so it doesn't matter what we do, because we can't flip our own cards to them. So 7, 6, 5, 3, and 8 is the win. So those are 10 positions to practice kind of calculating and seeing a few moves. As you can see, even a good player can be a complete buffoon when on autopilot. But I hope these were interesting positions and gave a good feeling for kind of thinking a few moves ahead, what kind of things you might want to look for. Again, capturing, safety, securing, these are going to be the key concepts that will take us through a decent understanding, at least initially, of this game, which will get much more complicated, don't worry, because we'll have calculations from much earlier in the game. We will have additional rules coming. There is also the difference between open and closed. In open, you can see the other person's cards. It's often been analogized to chess, where it is a complete information game where you can make adjustments based on what the other person is doing and what cards they have. While closed is often considered closed is when you cannot see the opponent's cards, and it is often compared to poker, where it is a game of incomplete information, but based on what they have done and what is possible, you can have predictions about what the cards they might have, what they might be able to do. And there are also situations where just calculating and understanding positions really applies. For instance, remember this one, where I was really excited about 7-2, 7-4, and 2. And if this was closed, like I said, no matter what their cards are, we'd win. So if this was closed, if we couldn't see their cards, if I could block them out, and I would do it by putting something over their 2 cards here, but I am incompetent, so I will not. But if you could not see their 2 cards, remember there were 2 wins here. So one was 2, 6, 7, 6, and 3. But if we don't know their cards, maybe they have something with a 7 to the right, and they could take it and get the tie. But 7-2, 7-4, and 2 wins no matter what cards they have, because we only need to be capturing cards already played on the board. So if this was closed, if we couldn't see their hand, then 2, 6, 7, 6, and 3 might be a mistake. It would happen to not be, given the cards they actually have, but it easily could be a mistake. While 7, 2, 7, 4, and 2 would guarantee the win no matter what they have. So closed is a really interesting, different game, and we will start exploring it. And we will start exploring different rules and the ways they impact the game. But this has been an early calculation practice, kind of seeing 2 and 3 moves deep. Yeah, cheers.